Hair, consecration, and misreading Paul, restoring hair to its Hebrew context. For a long time, many Christians have treated one passage from Paul as though it settles the entire conversation about hair. The moment a man grows his hair long, someone quotes a verse from Corinthians. Suddenly, the discussion becomes simple, flattened, and absolute. Does not nature itself teach you? That line has become the end of the conversation for many people. But Scripture rarely works that way. One of the biggest problems with modern biblical interpretation is that people often take a single verse and allow it to override an entire cultural world. They forget that the Bible did not emerge inside modern Western assumptions. It did not emerge inside European grooming standards, Roman military aesthetics, or modern church traditions. Scripture emerged from Hebrew culture, and when you return to that Hebrew context, the entire conversation around hair becomes much larger, richer, and more nuanced. Hair in ancient Hebrew culture was not automatically feminine. Hair carried symbolism. Hair carried identity. Hair carried devotion. Hair carried covenant meaning. Modern people often inherit assumptions about masculinity that come from later European norms rather than biblical ones. Today, many assume that short hair equals masculine and long hair equals feminine. But that framework does not fit cleanly inside the Hebrew world. Ancient Hebrew men did not generally resemble Roman soldiers with cropped hair and smooth faces. Hebrew men commonly wore beards and often kept moderate to longer hair by later Western standards. Hair was not merely decoration. It communicated status, maturity, devotion, mourning, identity, and separation. One of the strongest examples appears in the Nazirite vow. In Numbers 6, a Nazirite was commanded to let his hair grow untouched during a period of consecration. That instruction alone challenges the idea that long male hair was viewed as inherently feminine, because Torah itself assigns long hair to sacred devotion. The Nazirite vow included 3 major separations: avoiding wine, avoiding corpse impurity, allowing the hair to grow freely. The growing hair became visible consecration. It marked sacred time. It represented separation unto Yah. Hair became an outward sign that something inward was taking place. This is not a minor detail. It means that within Hebrew thought, long male hair could symbolize holiness. Samuel is another important example. Before he was born, Hannah dedicated him. No razor shall touch his head. Samuel becomes one of the most influential prophets in Scripture. Judge, prophet, priestly figure, spiritual authority. And his life begins under a vow associated with untouched hair. Samson is another example. Though not called a prophet, Samson is born under Nazirite consecration. His hair becomes tied to covenant identity. The cutting of his hair represents the breaking of consecrated continuity. His hair is not treated as feminine, it is treated as sacred. Even kings appear within this broader hair symbolism. Absalom's hair is repeatedly emphasized in Scripture. His beauty and hair become part of his identity. Ancient Near Eastern kings often wore fuller hair and beards as signs of dignity, maturity, and authority. Hair was not viewed through the same lens modern Western Christianity inherited. So where does the modern assumption come from? Much of it comes from Greco-Roman influence. Rome shaped grooming standards deeply. Roman masculinity often favored shorter hair. Military discipline, civic order, and elite presentation encouraged controlled hairstyles. In Roman society, long male hair could sometimes carry associations with excess, vanity, rebellion, or certain philosophical or cultic identities. This matters because Paul is writing to Corinth. Corinth was not Jerusalem. Corinth was not ancient Israel. Corinth was a Greco-Roman city. The people Paul addresses lived inside Roman social expectations. Hair communicated cultural signals. When Paul says in Corinthians that nature teaches something about hair length, many readers assume he means biological creation itself. But that raises questions. Because when you actually look at nature, Males are often the more visually elaborate sex. Male peacocks carry dramatic feathers. Male lions carry manes. Male deer grow antlers. Male birds often possess brighter colors. In many species, males are visually expressive. So, what did Paul mean by nature? The Greek word Paul uses can refer not only to biological nature, but also to perceived order, social instinct, or what a culture recognizes as fitting. This makes much more sense in context. Paul is writing to a specific community dealing with worship order and social presentation. He is not rewriting Torah. He is addressing behavior inside a Greco-Roman assembly. And this distinction matters, because many modern readers unknowingly interpret Paul through centuries of later European Christianity. As Christianity expanded westward, it became increasingly shaped by Roman and later European aesthetics. The Roman Empire deeply influenced church structure, visual culture, clothing, authority, and social norms. Later, medieval Europe reinforced masculine grooming expectations. Shorter male hair became associated with discipline, order, clergy identity, and later military culture. Catholic Europe helped standardize many visual assumptions that people now unconsciously read back into Scripture. This means modern Christian discomfort with long-haired men may sometimes reflect inherited European norms rather than Hebrew categories. Hair in Hebrew culture was not automatically a gender issue. It was often a symbolic issue. Priests, for example, were instructed not to shave bald and not to let their hair grow wildly long. They maintained a balanced state. Nazirites grew their hair as a sign of separation. Prophets sometimes appeared rugged or visually distinct. Kings displayed maturity through fuller grooming. Women also wore long hair, often braided, covered, or ornamented. But the existence of long female hair did not erase the sacred role of long male hair. Both could carry meaning. This is where the conversation becomes deeper. Hair was not merely fashion. Hair carried narrative. Hair told a story about devotion, identity, social role, or spiritual condition. The body itself communicated theology. Modern conversations often become too narrow. People ask whether long hair is allowed. But that question misses the larger point. The real question is, what did hair mean in Scripture? When viewed through Hebrew context, long hair on men was never inherently treated as feminine. It could signify covenant. It could signify sacred separation. It could signify continuity. It could signify authority. It could signify devotion. And once that broader biblical picture is restored, Paul's words stop functioning like a universal prohibition. Instead, they return to their original setting, a pastoral instruction written to a specific audience inside a Greco-Roman environment. And that changes the entire conversation, because Scripture becomes fuller, context becomes clearer, and the Hebrew world begins to speak again.